specific tools or software, I do use Canva, even in my own business to market my own services. Google Workspace, definitely. I use Flowdesk for my email marketing. But I also have to be integrated into using my clients' stuff too. So some of them use Airtable, Asana as like project management tools, um, different email marketing softwares. So I've used so many. I've used like Mailchimp. I've used Entreport, Constant Contact. There are like a million out there. I've probably used like a majority of them. I use Stripe for my own invoicing. So I shouldn't say I'm a sole. I am the sole person who does the actual work in my business, but I do have support as well. I have a virtual assistant, and she helps me with some of my marketing tasks. So she helps me make sure that my email goes out to my email subscriber list every week, and then she uses the emails that I write to create some social media posts to just keep me consistently posting and showing up on social media. And she uses ClickUp to manage our stuff. So there's a lot of tools involved. Um, Career insights. What's your favorite part of your job or industry? Are there any interesting or memorable projects you've worked on? Some of the biggest challenges I've faced and how my work has changed over time. So, favorite part of my industry, the pet industry, is that it's the pet industry and I love pets. So, like, I'm very on brand today. I I really I enjoy working in this industry because one, it's really close knit. So you can like really build a reputation and a name for yourself. And people truly do like refer me to other businesses. And I don't know, I've just carved myself out a nice reputation in the pet industry. And also I think I do a really good job of connecting to the ideal audiences of most of my clients. And like I said, like that can look different. It's not just pet parents. You'd be really surprised how many how many different specific audiences that fall even within the pet industry umbrella. Um, and I just love it. I mean, I have gone to speak at different trade shows, and there just nothing beats a pet industry trade show because it's kind of absurd. Like there's just dogs everywhere. There's sometimes cats. There's giant bunnies in strollers being pushed around. These dogs are all dressed up. It's just a lot of fun, um, and definitely unique for like a business minded type of trade show. Interesting or memorable projects I've worked on. One of my favorite projects I've worked on was actually recently. It started, it's still kind of ongoing and it will be ongoing because one of my clients um, is they do a lot of marketing with athletes. So yes, they are a pet food brand, but that is like a main part of their brand identity is the fact that they see their food as fuel for pets. And in turn, there's an athlete connection there because athletes also see food as fuel. Um, so they partner with a lot of athletes, and they are actually doing a lot of partnerships with some of the 2026 Olympic athletes. So I was able to be a part of concepting a whole campaign for when the Olympics are live. And I get to do a lot of writing around a lot of those athletes as it pertains to what they feed their pets. And I don't know, it's just been really cool. And there's a lot of opportunity there. We're going to be featured in a lot of cool publications, and obviously a lot of like the live Olympic event stuff. So that was a really cool project to work on. Um, my work has changed over time, and one of the biggest challenges I've faced is obviously AI, like the elephant in the room, right? Um, for me, I in an ideal world, I AI just wouldn't exist, and at least in a creative capacity. But I also can't be naive to the fact that it's here, it's not going anywhere, and copywriters are being replaced by AI in some different industries. I have seen it happen. Um, I do think that there still are a lot of businesses out there that understand and recognize that there just nothing beats having a human touch and having someone who's paying attention to detail and who is really, really trying to understand your audience and be unique in their marketing. And you're not going to get that from AI. Eventually, everyone's going to start to sound the same. And I think that we are going to become a little bit jaded and more willing to put out less quality work um, just because it's faster and more convenient. So yes, there are businesses out there that are just using AI for their marketing. But I do think that in the long run, that's not going to serve them well. So if anything, really, my ideal customer has gotten even more specific because I have had to find the businesses who still value, the human touch and copywriting and having someone dedicated to that in their marketing. But also, I have to learn how to use AI and I have to learn how to heavily edit AI and I have to understand that there needs to be a lot of critical thinking behind it. So, with some of my clients, they might even submit some AI copy to me, and I'm able to be like, this is not on brand for you. This needs to be reworded. This isn't specific enough. This is so generic and I've seen it a million times out in the world. And you want to be more unique. And I really feel like that's where my value is headed. And it's not going to be for everybody, but there is an audience for me still for now. So we'll see where it heads. But I do think that in the long run, it's also going to benefit me to understand how to use AI if that ends up being becoming eventually like where my career is headed. There's gonna have to be someone driving that ship when they get there. So having experience using it, but also understanding that the human creative is kind of the star of the show here, is kind of what I'm rolling with at the moment. So, what's one piece of advice that you would give a high school student interested in business or marketing? And what can students do now through classes, clubs, or side projects to build useful skills? Actually, through some notes, I do think that, like I mentioned, I did some sales straight out of school, and I really feel like that set me up for a pretty solid career in marketing. So something you could probably be doing now is getting involved in or like putting yourself out there in things that are going to help you learn how to um, not only speak to people, but like pitch yourself. So maybe joining debate or like running for student council, or even if you're interested in it, starting a side hustle now and just like understanding how a business runs, and what that looks like. So that could be something that would really help you build marketing skills for the long run. Um, Also, just a piece of advice, like your first job probably won't be your dream job. Maybe it will be, and that like I love that for you. Um, but my first job certainly wasn't my dream job. But I'm still really, really grateful for everything that I learned in that job. Um, at the time, if you would have asked me like if it would have anything to do with what I do now, I'd be like, absolutely not. But like when I really think critically about it, it really did. It really set me up for a lot of important things that I still use to this day. Um, and yeah, I think like also don't stress about finding your passion now. You don't have to have it all figured out at your age. You don't have to find your dream job at 18 or after college or, whatever you have planned for after high school. Um, Really just be open-minded, always be willing to try new things, and see where they lead. Stay curious, and don't be afraid to pivot when something isn't working, um, because you don't have to be just one thing. You can do a lot of different things in this world. I don't know if I'll be a copywriter forever. I'm perfectly happy being a copywriter for the time being, but I have also um, considered full-time jobs and within, a business. And will it be copywriting? I don't know. Will I lean into something else in the marketing space? Maybe. But the path is not going to be a straight line. And just keep that in mind. You can always change your mind and you can always do something new and you can always explore another path and it can still be in marketing. It can just look different. And yeah, that's my advice. So that was really long. I really apologize. But yeah, feel free to cut this down or take whatever you need from it. Thanks.